It's just such a privilege to be here. To be given a job is beyond what I would ever imagine to do at Glastonbury.
I wanted to just give it a go because why not? I have nothing to lose.
I'm just those days to be here and feeling very privileged to be given the opportunity and just can't wait to get working.
It changed my life, like not having to put all the effort in all the time, to be met halfway. It's a whole different feeling, and like levelling the field has really done that.
So I think accessibility at festivals is such an important culture that needs to be introduced because people need to be treated equally. It's just allowing them to be given that equal voice and to be able to give them that equal opportunity to enjoy the music.
Okay, so, as best possible, can we make a circle, please? Hi, everyone.
Hi.
This is cool.
So here we are, back of the Rum Shack, levelling the field, 2025, year 2.
So, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Glastonbury Festival.
We're really looking forward to involving this new cohort.
Are you gonna edit this down?
Don't
worry, no. I'm Tatum, I'm from the Midlands and I'm based in London.
Hi, my name is Storm and I'm from Hastings.
My name is William Ogden and I am from Farnborough. I'm Levi, I'm from London.
It's Tuesday today, it's day 1 for the Levelling the Field programme. We start here, ready to go, ready to get involved.
We won't always get everything right, but know that Natty, myself, have got your well-being and your experience first and foremost over everything. Bear in mind that me and Natty have been doing this in this field for about 15 years. It was chaos to begin with. We were reprobates and not professional at all. So the fact that we're standing here as professionals, bringing through you as professionals, is not only a hugely personally rewarding thing, but yeah, we're incredibly thankful for you all coming. So I just wanted to say that to begin with.
I applied for Levelling the Field because I wanted to get a lot more experience of what this kind of festival is like.
I think Levelling the Field really spoke to me in lots of ways because it was about giving the opportunity for people with disabilities to be able to work, in production, backstage, or to be able to just to be treated just like amongst the colleagues that are working at festivals. I've always been curious about what goes on backstage in the festival. So when I saw the opportunity to be a festival producer trainee, I couldn't turn it down.
We open on Wednesday. Is that tomorrow?
Yep.
We open on Wednesday and we go till Sunday. It's about breaking down barriers and giving people opportunities. If you are a gatekeeper, what's the point if you're just going to keep the gate closed? The gate closed is just a wall.
I just want to soak in as much as I can, make connections with the people I'm working with, excited to see what happens.
Levelling the Field is such a fantastic scheme, I think, and it doesn't feel like it's tokenism either.
Yeah, we're extremely proud of Levelling the Field. It's changing Glastonbury at its core at the moment. The reason Levelling the Field happens is if we don't do it, who's doing it? I'm not seeing it. No one's seeing it.
Today is kind of a boring day, and I say that with respect.
Okay, so you can probably guess what the name of this venue is?
So today we're going to go through the infrastructure of the field, some of the light health and safety stuff, who's in charge, what responsibilities everybody has, just to make sure everyone feels comfortable and everyone knows what to expect, what's going to happen.
This is Kinetic. So this is the second venue that I'm managing this year. It's a little bit bigger than last year. Obviously, this is the temple.
I'm feeling like lots of things about the week ahead. I think it's that mix of really grateful that like something like levelling the field is happening and I've got this opportunity to work and get training. And then also this like flip side of this is wild that like this is such a rarity.
Firstly, everyone who needs to lip read, you all sat in the right place. We've got signs for the stages that Tyler and I came up with last year. So we've got Ramshack, so do the R, and then you make the arches. And if you see like the front of the stage, you've got the arches on the Ramshack, so R and then Shack.
I was a trainee last year on the Levelling the Field project over at the Common. And this year they asked me back to help them with access support, which has been fantastic and honestly probably game-changing for me. In terms of really helping me realise that this is my passion, this is what I want to do going forward. This year specifically, we've had quite a few people who are deaf or hard of hearing, and obviously because I'm deaf myself, I can provide a lot of insight and support into that.
We're really excited to have the trainees back in the fold from last year. Levelling the Field is doing its job because we're developing them to the point where they're independent and they've built up their skills, they know the team.
There was a couple of situations where Dan and Natty needed to resolve things, and they did. So if you've got any fears about that, don't.
It's been really cool to be able to bring back our participants from last year. That's the whole purpose of the project. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to plug our disabled community into real opportunities within the business.
Hi, I'm Winter, one of the trainees last year. I was doing artist liaison and stage manager. It was nice to have everyone of the team who actually understand and who makes everything go so smoothly that we were welcome to be on the field.
Okay, hi, I'm Tyler. I came last year and I was a production trainee. I've never been to Glastonbury. I wanted to see what the festival was like. So that was my first time at a festival. It's really overwhelming, actually, the culture and the vibe. It's so different. And, you know, I came out and I went home and I felt like a brand new person. And so it's really nice to be back and doing production. And I think I'm a production assistant. Is that right? Is that my role? So, yeah, I'll be working with Kinetic and really looking forward to working with the team.
So far, I have found it brilliant, even though the festival hasn't truly started yet. And what I'm really excited about is to see the crowd just fill all those empty spaces, and that's probably where I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm definitely at Glastonbury now.
So guys, thank you very much. I mean, that's Levelling the Field. We absolutely love it. We're talking to many festivals at the moment. There's a lot of interest in this. Glastonbury put it on the front page of their website now, which is just mind-blowing. Considering my first Glastonbury, I was actually kicked off site for doing an illegal rave here with a sound system, and we weren't meant to be here, and we actually, were taken off site by security. So to be doing this all officially now, it's absolutely brilliant. I will add 23 of us got under the fence that year, and it was just brilliant, you know what I mean? So we proper did it grubby style.
The final thing I would say, just to wrap up Levelling the Field, is that Glastonbury is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I might have lied to you before you got here so you don't get scared, but now you're here, you ain't going anywhere. We are putting more responsibility in your hands to care for each other. This is so important. It's a challenge physically. There's a lot of ground to cover. There are long days. We'll give you as much rest as possible and as much as you need. Be mindful of yourself. That's the only way to get through it. And you will learn about yourself in that process as well. We're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. That's the only way that we learn. How we hold each other within that space and allow each other to make those mistakes is how we level up. So that'll be that sound check time then.
I became disabled when I was 18 with a progressive disease, and it kind of changed things for me, because I still wanted to go to festivals, but I felt like it might not be an option because there isn't access. And in some ways that was true. There wasn't a lot of access.
With regard to accessibility in live events and festivals, being here, I've realised there's so many things to think about, especially getting around for people with mobility impairment.
I kind of have always advocated for BSL interpretation to be implemented at festivals. I'm very passionately trying to increase awareness that deaf people actually like music. I'm hoping to be able to make the world a better place for people with disabilities, even if it's one small thing at a time. Personally, for me to be in the room of people enjoying the band or the performance and being able to have access to it is the greatest thing on earth.
Can I ask a favour? If you've taken photographs, please don't post them on social media until tomorrow.
We went on a site visit to West Holts. It was amazing. I mean, West Holts to me is a very special place. The West Holts team welcomed us with open arms, and in some ways it felt like we were their privilege, and so there's a real symbiosis there. We've got Tim and Charlie there, kind of based at West Holts this year. The whole point of the partnership with West Holts is to both share what we're learning at Level in the Field and also to understand how they're doing it on a much bigger scale, and really look at how potentially we might be able to do it again in 2027, actually delivering the programme there.
How can we make the best adaptations possible? What advice would you have? Part of this process is learning from you.
It's a beast of a challenge. It's a very different type of space. The artist liaison space is enormous, and ours is a tiny little yurt. And that brings its challenges, but also what I believe, and actually what West Holts has said to us, is that the culture and the people that we've developed at Level in the Field is really unique, and it's the thing which other venues, fields struggle to recreate.
The opportunities that we have here are growing massively all the time. What we would love to see is some of you come back and take that leadership roles at West Holts. Like, if I can get you guys at West Holts in 2027, some of you leading that programme, it will be amazing, because then we'll have Rum Shack, we'll have West Holts, and I'm telling you guys now, after that, I want Pyramid.
It's Wednesday, we're opening today, it's really exciting. A lot of the trainees don't know what to expect. We've prepped them really well. I was really pleased with the briefing yesterday. They're confident, they're well prepared, but you never know what's going to happen at Glastonbury. So this evening, we'll have the trainees shadowing the stage teams both at Kinetic and at the Rum Shack, giving them an opportunity to see how it works. And the idea is, as we go through the weekend, they'll feel more confident, they'll have the skill set, they'll know who to speak to firefight and problem solve. And I'm incredibly excited to see their faces when they realise what they've joined.
It's been good. I'm tired. I'm real tired. And we've still got a lot of work ahead of us, but that's okay. And I think because it was made so clear that whatever you need, just communicate it. And I've really appreciated that about the team.
The last few days being not what I expected at all, and in a really good way. I had so many goosebumps yesterday.
Obviously, like that anticipation of you don't know what's going to happen, but I think that's the joy of working in live events anyway. It's like, we'll have to see as it goes. Like, I'm going to be using my chair a bit. Already they changed some things, because when I first came in, like, I couldn't really get through. So they've put stuff down, like they're being like proactive about like what they can and putting stuff in place. So yeah, I'm excited.
So my shift later on will be talking to the artists that will be performing later. So just making sure that, being an artist liaison officer, just making sure that they're being supported, and to ensure the welfare of the punters as well as people backstage. There's so many different roles that people have at festivals, but just to be given that opportunity just to see how it pans out is such a great thing to see.
It's so cool. I still can't believe that I'm actually here.
We don't always know what we're going to be able to do. Like, we know we can do the job, but it means there has to be movement, and we have to adapt as we go along. But I feel well supported, so that's all I can ask for, really.
It's going to be a late one today. Yes, it's I think, if I'm correct, from 6 to midnight or even 3 a.m. if I really wanted to push it. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. if I get tired, I'm just going to shake it off and dance and be like, you know what, I'm going to keep going. You know, it's the one-time opportunity. I'm not going to pass it. Got to do it.
Notice how you're feeling right now.
I'm looking forward to meeting new people. I'm looking forward to contributing, giving back to festivals. I'm looking forward to see what the crowd looks like from the artist point of view. That's going to be mad. I can't wait for that.
It's really important for Glastonbury to be putting on programmes like this because everyone should be able to come to this.
On my coffee break right now, being a couple of hours heavy lifting. There's a lot of things to think about actually, like how to make sure everyone's safe.
Amazing. Enjoy your tea.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
My first day's been great. I have done loads of things. I've done some lifting, some sofas, just make the customers happy and comfortable, because standing for a long time can be tiring. It's been so cool seeing the background of things and see how much people are doing for the artists and just how much the artists are doing for us.
What do you say, Glastonbury?
If I'm going to be on this mic, is this the one that Kimmy should also use for beatbox as an example?
It's day 2 at the Room Shack. I'm feeling good, feel like I've eased in a bit, did the shift last night. So yeah, I'm feeling excited. It's going to be a busy day today, but I feel more ready for it. It's really good for me to like get hands-on training because I didn't really get to go to school and like didn't really have the finances to like pay for training. So it's like to be able to be here and actually like learn as I'm going, and everyone was super supportive. The performers, like there's this melting pot of like lots of different people, and so to see that like reflected backstage and in the crew as well is really important. What the Room Shack does on stage is reflected in like the community back here. Queer House Party are going to come on soon, which for me as like a queer, there's this thing about like the dance floor being a space for liberation, to like connect with people, to let loose. The thing about being disabled is like the dance floor can be actually dangerous for us. So it's like this exclusionary space, which is supposed to be this like liberation for everyone. But I think because we're implementing access, like disabled queers can also be there.
I imagine in my mind's eye a young disabled person that is obsessed with music, obsessed with production, obsessed with the backstage side of things, and they can just imagine and decide that they want to work at Glastonbury, and the thought of what about my impairment doesn't come into it at all. They can just be like, I'm good enough, I want in.
Programs like this are vital for getting people with a passion, because music's so healing, it speaks to everyone, so it's so important to give that gateway in for people with disabilities and giving them an opportunity to do something they love. I used to struggle, I used to have very low self-confidence. Since performing for them and now being taken on as a mentor, my confidence has gone through the roof. I just think it's amazing what they do. They're all like a big family. It's just a safe, nurturing space.
We should be providing these spaces, we should be providing these opportunities. It's up to us, and basically within the disabled and deaf communities, they've got an ally with all of the team that work here, and we just hope that we can give and provide the best time, experience and opportunity that we can.
I want you to think about where you are, and after 3 I just want you lot to let go, exhale, breathe out, let that and that baggage drop. But right about now, after 3, make some noise for yourselves. 1, 2, 3. It's all about love, prosperity and unity.
Hello everybody, welcome inside the Common if you're new here. So if you don't know what Level in the Field is, it's a programme that started in the Common last year. It is basically a festival trainee programme for the deaf and disabled community.
We're one family, we all engage, we get together.
When you go back home and you meet this beautiful, welcoming, inclusive space, you go back out into the world, back to your work environments, back to the places to do your sports or hobbies, the things you enjoy. If you wake up tomorrow and you have a disability, will that still be accessible to you? And if it's not, then I want to encourage you to put forward that voice, instigate that change, and maybe you can try leveling the field beyond this festival too. Thank you.
And that's the super exciting thing about what's happening right now, is it kind of feels like we're on the sharp end of something really big. Tonight is Friday at Glastonbury, the Common, the Rum Shack's popping off, Kinetic's popping off. It's the last official night of Level in the Field, i.e. this journey that they've been going on for the last few days is not closing by any means, actually it's the start of a new chapter. The past few days has been amazing, they've really grown. You can see it, they're hungry, they're leaving wanting more, as opposed to leaving broken, which is kind of like the Glastonbury default setting. The energy is really good at the moment, the morale's really high.
I mean, it's just been such a beautiful experience. Like, I've loved getting to know everyone who's involved and just seeing how like everyone's come together and like supported each other, and just how like overly giving everyone is and how invested everyone is.
Meanwhile, Dan looks confused. Sorry, I just needed to get out my system. Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. It's just been really wonderful to see how everyone's engaged. This programme, just from all the feedback we've had from the participants so far, has demonstrated like there's so much opportunity and so much belief now.
I've got a bit of a story to tell you if you don't mind. I was born profoundly deaf. and it was my mum and dad. I've got to pay respects to them because they are such music lovers, and I remember so well when I was implanted at the age of 4 years old and learning to listen to music, and it was Blur Song 2 that captured the essence of what music should be all about, that happiness and that joy. So ever since then I have been listening to music non-stop, and I can tell you now I have been to thousands of gigs over the years. Little did I know, I didn't think I would be standing here at Glastonbury on a Sunday, not fragile but a bit tired, but in good spirits.
I think there was one night the Kinetic stage had Levi, Will and Tyler on it, and because they're all deaf and because we work in such a noisy environment, it just wasn't a problem for them because they were just signing at each other. And actually it's probably a way going forward for like the festival industry to just communicate better and like quicker instead of shouting at each other and like not being able to hear, you know? And it's just so stupid, it's so unbelievably stupid, you know, that we don't make things accessible from the get-go, especially when you could wake up tomorrow with a disability, you know? I mean, like, that's what happened to me. I was born hearing, and then one day, like, just gone, and I don't know why, and I'll probably never know why. But knowing that where I work and what I want to do can be accessible for me if people are just willing and like open and like happy to help, it's just incredible. And so I want to create that environment for just anyone with a disability because it's something that we all should have.
I feel like I've done a whole variety of roles this year and just taken my pick. I've loved it though. It's been really an eye-opening experience.
Having people being willing to meet you halfway is something that's so foreign to us. There was genuine disbelief from the trainees because it just hasn't happened before.
It makes people with disabilities feel seen, and having worked at the Common and being able to see other people with additional needs and disabilities working behind production is so refreshing to see that everyone has their own skill set and their own kind of perspective on things.
Dreams for the long-term ambitions of Levelling the Field are dizzyingly exciting. So here in 2027, after the fallow year, the aim is to partner up with West Holts and deliver Levelling the Field, so graduate existing trainees potentially to place them at West Holts or build a new team there. So the idea is to work with Glastonbury to see how far we might be able to roll it out. Care and well-being is at the centre of this project.
It's been really, really beautiful. It's really, really important that when people from the disabled and deaf community come and work with us, they can see themselves in those that work with us.
It was so nice to see such a big festival want someone who's disabled. Usually that's not the case. I belong and I'm not the only one, and I really wanted to like give it my try and show you guys how awesome I am.
We talk a lot about like intersectionality and diversity and inclusion, but disability is like often left last.
For Glastonbury to be the leader of Levelling the Field, people from all around the country can be given equal opportunities.
People are fantastic here, they're really passionate, they really care about other people.
We can do these jobs, we want to do these jobs. If we can't come to things, you're not seeing disabled people. You put access in place and you're going to see loads of disabled people. Like, it has to be a focus, so I'm really glad that it's happening.
You gotta do it to like gain experience and meet people. I mean, you just never know what will happen if you just push yourself out there. And you just get to see such amazing people and acts and the behind scenes. That's the magic.